everyone, my name's Miranda and today I'm here to review the new book Stealing Snow by Daniel Page, the first in a new trilogy from Daniel Page. Also wrote Dorothy Must Die and all those lovely books. And Stealing Snow I was super excited to read for two main reasons. One, look at this beautiful cover. Just look at it. It's amazing. Two, I thought it was a retelling of Snow White, and then as I'm reading it, I found out it's actually a retelling of the Snow Queen, which I thought was really interesting because you don't really read a lot of books about the Snow Queen. I've never read one. The only thing I know is like Frozen, and even that they changed so much. So I was really intrigued to read this. It's about a girl named Snow, which I mean, I thought that name was a little too on the nose. Like you couldn't come up with any other punny name besides Snow. Like that was a little too literal for me. But it's about this girl Snow who has been in a mental institution since she was like about 5 years old because she, I don't really know, they don't like describe what happened. She has some incident with a mirror where she tries to walk through it and they deem her not safe, and she has anger issues and all that. So she's been in a mental hospital for like 11 years now. And of course, because it would just be boring if she was stuck in this hospital the whole entire book, her sort of kind of best friend slash boyfriend who went crazy on the first page after she kissed him, like he tried to kill her or something. It's not really addressed, but like it's a thing. He's kidnapped by a mirror. Like these hands reach out, grab him, and take him through the mirror, and she has to go now through the mirror to this mystical land and find him, and she finds out, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy, I'm a princess. What? But basically, yeah, she's going through this land where she is a princess and she's involved in this prophecy that she doesn't even know about. She has these powers she didn't even realize she had, and the whole story is her kind of balancing what other people want her to do versus her trying to find her friend who got pulled through the mirror and is now mysteriously disappeared. So this book, like I said, I was super excited for, and unfortunately it fell pretty flat for me, I have to say. I think my main thing was that this book is literally just like every single cliched YA novel you could ever read. Like it's the quintessential YA novel, and not even in like a good way. Like you could tell that it was written to be a quintessential YA novel. Like things weren't happening because they were authentic to a story, I feel like this story was mashed together with different pieces, and then that was how the story came about. It's not bad writing because Daniel Page is a good writer. It's just that I feel like these ideas weren't all put together naturally. I feel like we got certain ideas that we've seen a bunch of times in different books, and we put them all together and we try to make a story, and it just didn't really work. I mean, we have a girl who thinks she's just kind of ordinary and mundane, but then she finds out she's a special little snowflake, pun intended, in this other world, a la pretty much every book, but it really reminded me of City of Bones with Clary. Then there's also not one, not two, but three love interests. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Page has now coined the love square, and I just like, if it felt more natural, I would still have an issue with it, but it wouldn't be as annoying. Whereas in this book, literally every single guy she meets, like, falls for her, and there's really nothing that special about her. Like, she's not described as being outrageously pretty. She kind of has an attitude. She doesn't really get along with all of them, and it's like, instead from like page 1, they're like, haven't you been able to tell that I've loved you forever? And I'm like, no, we haven't. Like, hold the phone. So I was super irritated when it was like one love triangle, and I was like, oh, who's she getting? And then like we add the third guy, and I'm like, this is just not okay. I am not here for this new love square, so I hope this is not a trend that is starting, because I will scream and cry. And then it's just also like that whole like journey of going to a mystical land where you're kind of the outcast in your ordinary world, but here you're like the golden standard of everything and everyone wants to be your friend or fall in love with you. So it was just, it just didn't work. I feel like it reminded me a lot too of A.J. Howard's Splintered, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. If you know anything about that book, the main character's mother is in a mental institution because people think she's crazy, and she has to journey to Wonderland to save her mother. So it's very similar in scope, which again is why I'm saying that this book felt like every YA cliche novel that I've read before. But Splinter does a better job of what Stealing Snow is trying to do, and I feel like I said that it's just because this isn't a full-fleshed novel. This is just like someone came up with an outline for a really okay cliche novel. Like City of Bones, Harry Potter, splintered, Court of Thorns and Roses, all that kind of mashed together, and then this is what they came up with, and it was really disappointing. The main character wasn't likable at all because we're just supposed to like her because she's a special little snowflake and she's so cool and all the guys love her, so shouldn't we too? And that was annoying. I mean, I'm disappointed because I really wanted this to be cool because the premise is amazing. I mean, you could have this whole thing about the Snow Queen who is a villain and a character kind of struggling with their villainy, their powers and stuff like that, and instead she kind of just gets her powers and is like, let's go with it, and it's just not good. So I ended up giving this 2 out of 5 stars. I don't think I will continue on with the series when the new books come out. However, if you feel like you like kind of like love squares and special little snowflakes, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. So if you are interested in that, then definitely check out this book because, like I said, this is every quintessential cliche in YA that you could ever imagine. So it's got that for you if you're interested in it. It just unfortunately wasn't for me. So I think that's about going to do it for this video. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel down below to be told when I make all sorts of new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!